violent live stream. So, first of all, we want to say thank you, Denise, for the cute little no. I admit I have never seen one like this before.
Thank you, Dave.
That is too cute. See, he's swinging back and forth.
And if someone just
That's really cute.
Merry Christmas to me.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Turret. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Hi,
Okay,
Tanya.
so today is Turret's husband's birthday.
yay, bird.
You ready?
Wait. Do we want to see if we're on YouTube yet, too? Oh, we are. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ova. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong. Happy birthday to you. Woo! He made it to 60 today. Isn't that great? How does that feel when you make it to that?
He just aged 5 years after hearing that.
Yeah, probably. Okay, sorry we pronounced your name wrong. Oh, we did all that and there was no sound?
We'll have to do it again. Thank you for telling us the sound was low.
Oh, it was just low. It was just low.
It was very low.
Well, did we sing loud enough for them to hear us?
Did you hear us when we sang?
I think we better do it again, just to make sure.
Here,
Yes, Angie, we're live now.
All
The sound
right.
should be better.
So today we're talking about why you cannot get organized. What was the title? What title did we decide on?
I don't know.
You just made the graphic.
We're trying to get organized on our titles.
We're a little shot today. We did 6 videos before this afternoon if you were on Facebook with us. And Mom and I laid down and then I did orders and we're tired.
Yep.
So, okay, can we proceed on, dear?
It was why you can't get organized.
Why you can't get
Get
organized. That's what we were doing today. So, Mother, why can't people get organized?
I don't know. You tell me. You will both know. Well,
Okay.
Because you want to keep everything.
yeah.
So I gave
yeah.
Mom some of my purple power drink before the show, hoping it would perk her up, and it actually
me
made
sick.
it worse. So,
I'm totally gone here. All right. Well, one thing I can tell you how to how do I want to say this? Knowledge is worth absolutely nothing if you don't use it. I can sit here and tell you step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how to clean the shelf, how to clean this closet, and go through the whole list of things. But if after you turn this off, you're not going to get up and do it because you're not motivated to do it, it's going to be useless. That knowledge will be
so here's a little shameless plug, but Mom wrote 500 ways I lived on $500 a month. A very good example of this is, and you can get this ebook in the description below, but a very good example of this, everyone asks Mom how she lived on $500 a month, but they don't want to do what she did to live on $500 a month and to pay off her debt and to stay debt free. And so it's the same thing with organizing.
Yeah, if you're not motivated
willing
and
to
you're
do
not
it.
really serious about it, it's wasting your time and my time listening to how to do it, because if you're not going to get up to do it. And we're really bad about making schedules, planning plans, okay, I'm going to clean this today, this tomorrow, learning, going on Pinterest, YouTube, every place, learning how to do these things. But by the time we get done watching all this stuff, we're tired, the mess is still there, and there's nothing to get us going. So this first video, I kind of want to try to stir you up a little bit, give you reasons why you need to get organized, how important it is for your family to get organized. We put organizing our home and all that type of thing last on our priority list. We do church activities, we do community activities, school activities. We're all willing to do those, and then we come home tired and the house is a mess. Or we put our job, ahead of all that.
Or we do live streams.
Or we do live streams, yes, exactly. So, we put all this, our home below all of these things. And it's kind of like, have you ever had a child, you say, can you go clean up your room or whatever? And they moan and groan and say, well, do I have to? I don't want to. And they'll go over to the neighbor's house, and the neighbors say, can you help me do this? Oh, sure. And they'll get up and they'll help the neighbor, and you're standing there thinking, okay, now why did they do that for grandma or the neighbor, but they won't do it for me? It's because we do the exact same thing when it comes to community or church or school. It's a noble cause to be doing this stuff for somebody else, but to do it for our own self at home, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Where we don't want to do it.
Well, also, if you mess it up on somebody else's project, you can still go home.
Yeah, that's true.
So all of these, Dave, if you would put the graphic up, all of these are in our Keeping It Clean ebook series that Mom wrote. And we have laundry, we have our schedules, how to clean in there,
How to organize.
how to get organized, and how to make homemade cleaners are all in our Keeping It Clean ebook set. And Michael put a link on there for you to get it. So,
Ooh, I guess Mike better get to that. Boom, there it is.
there it is. So, all of this stuff is in there.
Mhm.
So if you
And
miss
there's
out,
some of
you
it's
can
on the
get it there.
website, too.
Yeah, and some of it's on our website
Yeah.
too.
There's
So
art stuff on the website.
go for it, Mom.
So, well, it's like our stuff is controlling us. We're not controlling it.
Yep.
God didn't bless us with all this wonderful stuff and these things for it to control us. We're supposed to control it, but yet we feel sometimes like the stuff is choking the life out of us. But we're not willing to get rid of it. We're not willing to do something with it and to get it organized. So you've got to make up your mind to get your emotions under control, start getting the right attitude, and, to do this. And I was joking with Tara before we started, and I was teasing her because, I asked her, do you sometimes feel like your home is out of control? And I had this list of questions that I was asking. And
Go
what
ahead.
did you answer? Okay, I'll go ahead. Do you wake up every morning feeling as if things are out of control before your feet hit the floor?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Do you spend a good portion of your day looking for stuff, moving stuff, and trying to figure out where to put stuff?
Yes.
Everything. Okay, Michael, I got to say this. Everything in your home should be there for your pleasure and enjoyment to help you in your daily living. If it doesn't, you need to get rid of. Now, that doesn't mean your husband, ladies. You're required to keep them.
Maybe you should just throw
I
me out there and
thought-
see if somebody else wants me.
Oh, it's a good thing Mother's sitting between us today.
I know, really. But you need to really, really start thinking about this. We worry so much about our environment outside, about how there's air pollution and everything green, we worry about this stuff. Do you know there have been studies that have proven people's homes are more polluted than the outside environment? And we have mold. Our kids are having problems with mold and dust and all these allergies.
Ew.
I mean, really, aren't they?
I know.
They are. And we don't have a standard of cleanliness anymore. Now, before I get started on this, so maybe I need to backtrack. We've got two extremes. We've got those who don't do anything at all, or don't know how to do anything, or where to even start, and then you have those that are trying way too hard. If you have a toddler and a baby and you're laying there on the couch dying with a cold right now, and I'm starting to tell you how you need to get up and get your house organized and get clean, you're going to get overwhelmed. I'm not talking to you. You can't keep your house up to the same standard as a woman living by herself.
Or if you're sick,
Or if you're
chronically ill.
sick.
But
But at the same time, be
Don't use
honest.
that as an
Yeah, be
excuse
honest
either.
with yourself. Are you using that as an excuse?
Yeah.
I'm too tired. I work too long. I work too many hours. You control your schedule. You do. If you're running your kids to activities and you don't have time to be at home to get dinner, you schedule that in. The kids could have skipped those activities, And so I want you to realize you have control here. You keep telling yourself, I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. I did this one day. I was sitting, it was like 2 days after Christmas, and you all know what it looks like after Christmas. I mean, like a bomb blew up in the house. I hadn't dusted for a month because I'd put the Christmas decorations out everywhere. It was a total shambles, and I wasn't feeling good. I was tired, and I was looking at all this stuff, and I said, I just can't do it. And then I thought, I just don't feel like doing it. And then I thought, well, I don't even know where to begin. And it dawned on me, all of a sudden this little voice said, I just don't want to do it. That was the honest truth.
Mother, you're
I did
hitting
not-
too hard here.
Well, I didn't want to do it. I would rather sit there on the couch and look at the mess than actually get up and do it. So what I did was I stood up and I went and I thought if I just get the mantle cleared off of the Christmas decorations and dusted off, then I'll just go back and sit down again. I cleared the mantle off and it looked so good. I thought, well, I'll just try that little spot over there on the other side of the room. And so I cleared that off. And that was looking so good. By this time, I had a pile of Christmas decorations that needed to be boxed up. So I thought, well, I'll just go get 3 boxes out of the garage and put them back in their boxes. Before I knew it, I spent 45 minutes and I had the whole living room taken care of with all the decorations
Doesn't
cleaned up.
really take that long.
No, it didn't. But in my mind, I just didn't want to do it. And so I had made all the excuses. You've got to stop making excuses. You've got to really seriously look at your life and see. Now, a lot of these were really funny. I was reading this thing today, and we go look at houses. We're maybe moving, and we're looking at houses, and we want our neighborhood we want to move into a neighborhood that's neat. Everybody keeps their grass cut. We have all these, what are they called?
HOAs.
HOAs. We love, we have.
No, we don't love HOAs.
Well, but people like what they do to keep everybody under control, and we move into these houses wanting the outside to look beautiful and nice. And that's important to us. But yet inside our own homes, it's complete chaos. You've got to care more for your children and your family. And that has to be most important to you. A child's world, we say kids are under stress more nowadays than ever before. I'm not so sure if that's totally true, but that's what everybody says. That school and everything that's happening in the world is causing kids to be stressed out. But I don't think what we completely realize is a child up to the age of about 9 or 10, his whole world, his main world is his home. Everything that happens in his home, his life revolves around his home, around mom, dad, his siblings. That's his life. As you grow older, you start expanding that world a little bit to school friends and that type of thing. And then as you become an adult, of course, the whole world. But a child's world is very, very small. It's just that world in his home. And we worry about the stress happening outside the walls of our house and what it's doing to our children. And we worry about their school. But you know what? They're getting more stressed out by living in a home of chaos. And that's what it is. If mom and dad are screaming, go get your shoes on, we got to leave, we're late, hurry, find your coat, where's your coat? Now you've lost your shoes. Now, why can't you find your coat? Your coat should have been there. Where was it? And everybody's scrambling. You get all these people scrambling, trying to find shoes, coats, purse, keys, and everybody's hollering at everybody. We're going to be late. If you don't get that coat and those shoes on, we're going to be late. So everybody jumps in the car. They're late to where they're going. This child sits there through all of this turmoil. They arrive late. They think they're the one that did something wrong. They feel guilty. And just something small like that can affect your child. And yet you worry about what the outside world's doing to affect your child, but they're more affected by something that simple. You're not saying anything. You're scaring me. You're not saying anything.
I'm
being
just
so
wondering,
serious.
Did
No.
we abuse our children? Did we abuse you guys by making you put your coats by the front door and your shoes by the front door?
Yeah, because if it wasn't there, you'd be screaming at us and you'd force me to buy new
See,
shoes.
aren't you glad aren't you glad Dad and I are perfect parents?
No, you're not. You're not even close to perfect.
Oh, by the way, Turid says that he did.
He did hear.
He thinks this
You're welcome.
That's good.
And I still have to say before you get going again, Angie said, yeah, threw Mike right under the bus. See, Angie knows my pain.
I'll listen to you through
Yeah,
under
see,
the bus.
you said nobody would ever come between us, dear. What's this?
Your own mother came between you. My goodness, that's what's really bad. But you have to really think, think about these things, what you do to your family. And in order to, well, I was just thinking too about a lot of times we yell at the kids. We'll say, go down there and get your room cleaned up. You know, Tar's laughing because how many times have you said
Yeah,
that?
that ain't gonna happen.
You know, we yell at them, go down there and get your room cleaned up. And these poor kids, they go down to this room that looks like everything's just caved in.
That's exactly what I feel.
Is that what you feel like, Dave? And they stand there overwhelmed. They don't know what to do with the stuff in this room. Mom doesn't even know. How does she expect the kids to know what to do with? So you have to get these rooms organized, things put together.
But you also have to stop buying your kids so much stuff. I mean, I know people who go every single time they go to the grocery store, they buy their kid a toy.
Yeah. Well, I saw a thing once, a show, and it was really interesting. It was like two twin boys, and they literally had a room that was like 20 by 15 with shelving across this whole room. And the shelving was packed with toys. There was toys on the floor. And it showed these boys, they had like, I don't know, 500, 600 Hot Wheels alone.
It's ridiculous.
And they showed the boys taking their cars and their toys, throwing them out of a 2-story window to watch them crash and break on the ground. Then it showed them taking the toys and banging them and breaking them against things. And the kids were out of control. They were fighting and they were hitting each other with these toys, breaking the stuff up. So they did an experiment. They took all the toys away from them except for 10. The boys were left with 10 toys. And so for the rest of the time, it was such a change of what the boys' attitude was. They took care of those toys. You know, weren't using them to break them and...
Okay, so in light of that, we're going downstairs right now to work on the boys' room.
No thanks. Well, you guys gave me like 40 things for Christmas, so...
So they no longer broke the toys, and they were actually playing, you know, much better. The only thing was, excuse me, the only thing was that at the end of the show, the organizer said, and look at all these wonderful bins I made for them, and we're dividing up the 500 Hot Wheels to put in the bins in all these bins so they can find them. I'm thinking, no, don't do that. You have got to get rid of some stuff because we go down the shampoo aisle. I've used this example before. And we see shampoo, we try to pick out a new shampoo. Okay, there's shampoo for straight hair, fine hair, curly hair,
Colored.
blonde hair, colored hair,
Black hair, white hair,
brunette,
gray hair, Mexican
yeah, fluffy hair, non-fluffy hair. And each brand then has their own whole section. And you look at this and think, I don't even know where to begin. I get frustrated and overwhelmed. And if we have that many toys with our kids, they're going to do the same thing.
Well, and back to the Hot Wheels thing. I'm sure everybody has seen... Okay, you two.
Take your toys away because you're fighting.
Everyone has seen this on Pinterest. Have you guys seen where they made the racks on the wall for the Hot Wheels? And it was like these race cars, and they had all the cars lined up. And they have, I can't remember, it was like 10 or 15 rows of like 10 or 15 cars on each of these. And I'm getting to the point where I don't even want to look on Pinterest anymore because I see these absolutely ridiculous organizing things. How ridiculously stupid is that to have 500 Hot Wheels on your wall? Get rid of them. You should not be having that many Hot Wheels. And then the next one is when they have their closet and they're organized and it's color coordinated and they have 75 t-shirts.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
You know, you've got to realize, even when you do that, okay, you have to spend time cleaning, dusting, picking up, sorting all those things. How much money do you pay buying bins to put this stuff in? Bins is a big thing now to put bins, everything in bins, you know. And then you need a bigger house because your closets aren't big enough. And
then you need a storage facility and you're paying monthly for that.
Yeah, and you're doing that.
And holy moly, those are frightfully expensive here in Colorado.
Here in Colorado, it's ridiculous.
But you know, it's really at that point when you're spending more time organizing, cleaning, taking care of this stuff, that stuff is still controlling you. That's what the bottom line is. your things are taking over your life, and you've got to. And another thing too, like we're homesteaders tonight, aren't we? Doing the
Yeah, we're homesteading tonight.
We're doing the homesteaders
We're with
tonight.
the Homestead Network tonight. Sorry, guys. TheHomesteadNetwork.com to go find everybody on there.
So, but even like with the homesteaders and things like that, when you're living a lifestyle like that, it could mean your family's safety. If you don't put the gun up in a right rifle up in a right spot, and all of a sudden a wild animal comes up to your door, it may be a matter of life and death to get that thing for protecting your child or something. If you accidentally leave your tools outside and forget about them, your chainsaws or whatever, then you can't just drive into the nearest Lowe's about 5 minutes away and get the tools that you might have to need, that you really need for something or another. You waste time.
You trip over in the middle of the night when you go see what that horrid, wicked sound is in the middle of the night, and you're tripping over stuff getting outside.
And you waste time. And you waste money because
energy.
You can't take care of the stuff you have, so it gets broken and lost and that type of thing. So you just go and buy more, and there's money. And we even have an article about dirty dishes cause debt.
Yeah.
And something as little as that, you leave your kitchen is not organized, it's cluttered, and it's a mess. And you walk in there at the end of a long day, and you're thinking, I don't want to clean this. There's no way. And so you go out to eat. So you lose money. You're spending money because your house was unorganized. And if you come into a kitchen that's neat and clean, you're feel more likely, to do it. Now, I'm not talking Martha Stewart clean here. As a matter of fact, I read a joke that said, this woman was reading about organizing and cleaning her house and how she should do this and she should do that. And she said, finally at the end of the article, she decided the best thing she could do for her family was to put them all up for adoption. And so we're not talking Martha Stewart clean. We're talking here comfortable clean. You know what I mean? So that your house works for you. But if there's a pillow on the floor once in a while,
and I'm sorry, but these
stressed.
moms who don't have one single thing on their counter, they are not realistic. Their kids are miserable, and it's not realistic. You cannot put your toaster up every single time you use your toaster if you're using it several times a day, which we do at our house. You can't put that blender that you use 5 or 6 times a day up. It's not practical to lift in and out and in and out. And you can do that kind of stuff, and that's fine if that floats your boat. But
if you're having to work hard,
if you're having to work to do that, it's not.
We're not talking model home perfect here. We're talking to get your home so that it runs smoothly for you and works well for you. And there's just not all the junk. And like Tara said, it's mostly just getting rid of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to go through too, because this happens every single time whenever I'm teaching something. When I go to any kind of self-improvement, I don't care if you're starting to do an exercise program, starting a new diet, what you do is the first 1 or 2 days, because I do this myself, I am going to do this. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm putting my work clothes on or my exercise clothes on, and I'm going for it. And I'm tearing the place apart day 1. Day 2, I'm still motivated and I'm still going for it like crazy. It's like day 2, those carrot sticks and celery, I can eat those all day long with nothing else. I'm going for it here. Day 3 happens. Oh dear, the kids are sick at school. I gotta go bring them home. So now I'm taking care of sick kids, and then I gotta take the cat to the vet, and I think I'm motivated. Well, I didn't get half done what I wanted to today. It just, now day 4, it's like, I goofed yesterday, I didn't get anything done, and now I'm not going to get anywhere. By day 5, it's like, forget it. Now, isn't that the way most people do? You start out all energetic and motivated, and you're going to go for it. But I want you to be very careful that doesn't happen to you. That's why I keep saying start slow.
It's better to do something for 5 minutes every day, every single day, than to go in and have a big cleaning marathon one day and wear yourself out and get discouraged.
Yeah, and I looked up the definition of what it means to have a skill, whether it's a skill of homemaking skill or any other skill, what you have to do. And it's part of it is the ability to practice to do something well. The second definition is competent, excellence, and performance. Then there's understanding and discernment. And I'm going to go through these because I want you to understand these key words, practice. The first time you start trying to do something, it's not going to turn out maybe perfect or right, or you may not be able to stick to it. You got to keep practicing. It's like starting a new job at work. You know, you don't go to the work the first day or two, and you know how hard those new jobs can be. They can be confusing and frustrating to start. Well, you don't go up to your boss and say, well, I just can't do this now, and not do it. You have to keep trying. You have to try a different way, a different method, or you keep working at it. Every day that you do that job again, within 2 weeks' time you've got it pretty much down. And you can do it because you practice. After you practice, then it goes into being more competent. It's like these follow in line. You practice it, then you become competent at it. After you become competent, then you start gaining understanding of what you're doing. Tara is much more competent at gardening than what I am because she's practiced it more. And she also has a better understanding of why the things grow, when to grow them, what to do with them, why they're not growing. And that goes in with, then you gain discernment and you become very efficient and do things more readily. What happens is we mess up on the practice part.
Kind of like how you need to practice watering your plants and you can't figure out why they're dead.
I didn't know you're supposed to water plants. I just put them out there and hope it rains every day. Do a rain dance.
In Kansas in the middle of August.
But so you've got to think about that when you start getting discouraged because it's not going well, like in your cooking, whether you're cooking something.
Because you need your Dining on a Dime cookbook with wonderful recipes.
And the last, I'm just ignoring you.
Got a whole bunch of
Can I
comments and
just
questions.
ignore?
Okay.
We'll take
can
some.
wait.
We'll finish.
Well, I'll do
Okay.
this. I'll do this one last thing, and then you can do them. Then the very last definition of a skill is when you gain that skill, you make a difference. And I couldn't believe this definition. It was amazing because that's exactly what it is. A homemaking skill is or any other kind of skill. When you get organized, you end up making a difference in your life and the life of the people around you. If you don't give up, you just can't give up. You have to keep the practicing.
Wait, you need to say this part though.
Which?
This.
The secret to stop being
No, say it with the secret to stop being overwhelmed is doing what is right, even when it's hard. You can't gain skills in anything by taking the easy way out.
Signed, Jill.
Jill.
And that's the truth. We just
Yes.
That's why so many nowadays just give up the first time they try something. Well, I can't do it. I'll let somebody else do it for me.
So you mean after 18 years of doing this business and we're finally starting to turn a decent profit, I've finally gotten the skills to do it?
I'm not even going to comment on that one. Are you going to comment on that, Michael?
I'm sorry, I missed that part. I was listening and I just checked out because I heard you talking. No, just kidding. I have to say that to my mother-in-law.
What are some of the questions that
Well, there were comments and questions, so let me see what we have here. Well, at the beginning, Christine said, my office is messed up. And then Angie said, I have too much stuff.
Wait, can I do the office thing real quick?
Yeah.
You don't realize, a lot of people, or maybe they do realize, you have got to try to keep the paperwork under control. And we're going to go into very minute details.
We are?
Yes, in future programs on how to do this. But sometimes it costs you money by having those offices a mess and the paperwork.
Okay, I have a story about this. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
My aunt is a cleaning lady, sort of / personal assistant. The person she works for, she was cleaning, and she has piles of just piles and piles. They probably had 30 piles of brand new shirts that they hadn't even opened. But as she was moving one pile of magazines one day, she found a $250,000 check
Yeah.
just sitting there.
I know. And but not even I don't think I
Can't
would
even
find a check
imagine.
that much in my pile, but I've never even seen that
I
amount.
would tell her, okay, for the amount that I find in your house, can I have 50%
Keep it.
of it?
Well, but find a bill. Those bills are buried, so you have to
Gift
pay a
cards.
late fee. You lose gift cards.
Checks.
You bought stamps and you can't find them, so you need to go buy more stamps.
By the way, the stamps were where I told you they were today. Just saying.
But you lose. You have to pay all this money by having this paperwork, and it's really simple once you get it all under control to keep it under control. And oops,
Mike slipped
it because of the stamps.
Sorry, dear.
They were
Sorry,
trying to
they're
find the
just
stamps
I was
today.
just joking.
But one of the things I have started doing in my ancient old age is when I bring the mail in, I just put your trash can on a spot, and I stand there and I sort and toss in the
Sorry,
trash.
what were you saying about me?
And then
I said the stamps were where I told you they were.
In the top drawer?
Yes, right there in the front.
Well, you'll have to show me, because Jack couldn't find them with
They
me
were
either.
right there in the roll.
what were some of the other
Yeah, so
comments?
get a trash can. First of all, for your paperwork,
Yeah,
get a trash can. And before you do anything else,
Before you
we
lay it
walk in the
down.
house and we dump the trash, and then we put the paperwork where it goes.
And we'll go into more desks organization on how to put it in its different
Yeah.
sections and stuff.
Go ahead there.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at other comments. Shelly just checked in to say hi. Turid says, amen, Jill, you nailed it. And Stephanie says people have too much stuff. A lot of people were talking about that. Patricia said, I look around and get very overwhelmed, not sure where to start first. When I was a young wife and a mom, I was very organized, not sure why I am not now.
Can I say that? I'll stop you real quick. If you are overwhelmed and don't know where to start, you look at one thing that's
Tiny spot.
bugging you the most, a little tiny spot.
12 inches.
Just a little tiny spot, and you just go clean that. And that's what you do. Go ahead,
Yep.
Michael.
Let's see.
If it's
Karen
your-
says, have you ever gotten rid of something and then realized you really needed it?
Not really.
People use that excuse a lot.
I can say maybe twice in my life, I found out I needed something that was like $1 or less.
But you know what
But
happens?
never anything bigger
You
than
can
that.
usually rebuy it for fairly inexpensively, and the stress for keeping all this stuff is not worth the amount of money it would cost you to replace it, because most people get rid of things. Most people, when they're hoarding stuff like that, they're keeping deli trays, they're keeping rubber bands, they're keeping paper clips, they're keeping boxes they might need. And those kinds of things can easily be replaced with very little expense.
Yeah, but what happens when we go through, we do sometimes have a garage sale or sell things on Craigslist or something like that when you get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. Now, let's say you got $100 off that, and you find out 2 months down the road you needed this tool that costs like $15.
Set that $100 aside.
You
and-
may have to spend $15, but you got rid of more than all this other stuff,
Yeah.
and you're not really spending a whole lot. And if you're getting storage sheds or a bigger house because your closets aren't big enough, you're actually spending more money probably than it would cost to replace that.
Especially if you have to rent a storage shed, people.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I used to have a lot of stuff, and I was just starting to be collecting things, and there's a point where I thought, why do I need this? And there was a point where I was thinking about stuff. What if I get rid of it and I need it? I got rid of all of it thinking I can buy what I need, and I've never needed any of it.
I-
ever
If
since
you
then.
have
never,
a
ever needed
storage
it.
shed, unless it's a child moving or something and you're helping with that or something, if you have a storage shed, you have a problem. Really, I cannot think of any reason
Yeah,
why
because
anyone
that
needs
storage
a storage
shed is costing
Yeah.
you more than that
No.
thing you think you might need. You know.
You have way too much stuff if you have a storage
Yeah.
shed, and you need to get it under control. And honestly, I can't think of any reason why anyone would need a storage shed unless unless like grandma died and you had to sell her house right away and you need to go through stuff. But get it done quick. Don't let it sit there.
Well, and another thing too is we're talking a lot about stuff like I've gone to men's workshops before and they'll have 10 of the same exact size screwdriver. Mm-hmm. You don't need that. You can even knock it down to 2 and have things under control. Yeah. But people, they're thinking, well, what if I needed that? No, get rid of the trash and get rid of all the extra stuff right off the bat. Then you can start working your way into the stuff you're not sure of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, who was that agreeing with me on Pinterest? Thank you, sister. Whoever that was.
Oh, I can scooch back there.
Let's see who was. Stop. Pamela, thank you. Oh, Pinterest. I've gotten to the point I can't even stand looking at Pinterest hardly anymore because it's just gotten so ridiculous.
Well, a lot of the organizing you see on Pinterest and those things is how to organizing the millions of stuff that you have. That's not true organizing. You really have to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead, dear. Sorry.
Yeah, Mabel says, I've done family genealogy in the past, have binders, file folders, still have trouble staying on top of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and in that case, you need to get yourself a tote.
Yeah. And
put all of your genealogy stuff in a tote and keep it in that one tote. That kind of stuff I understand. It's more.
Yeah, we're not.
That is
but
more
it can
something
get out of control.
You would need, and it does get out of control. But organize it in a tote or something.
That's
that you
the stuff
can
to
easily,
organize.
Yeah.
We're talking mostly about stuff that you really, 500 Hot Wheels for your kid. They probably don't even play with most of them. So that's where you start.
Well, and like Grandma gave me, hopefully Grandma's not watching this. Grandma gave me a whole bunch of family pictures of people we don't even know.
No.
She's like, oh, here, you might like I don't know.
Well, she didn't tell you who they were, did she?
She didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were. Why are we keeping these pictures of people we don't know? It's that kind of stuff we're talking about.
If you get a piece, I wrote a thing about if you get a family heirloom and it's great Uncle Henry's piece of driftwood. Well, first of all, you don't even know whether great Uncle Henry's in your family. You never heard of him. You never met him. And you treasure this. You take care of this driftwood for how long? And then all of a sudden you found out this was just a piece of wood that great Uncle Henry threw his dog to run after and chase after. So why are you keeping these?
Dave, can you move the camera up just slightly? So everybody sees all my stuff here. And I do have some people say, oh, you're taking that clutter and that's just all cluttered. No, these are things from all of my grandmothers and my great-grandmothers. These are all things that were there. And it brings me joy to see them. I think they're cool. And I use them as a display. I don't have them cluttered up in a box
or in a closet,
not
laying
using
on the floor
them.
of a closet.
The same is true on top of my cabinets. I have displayed a whole bunch of old
antiques,
mason jars, and my grandma's cookbooks and stuff like that. But I actually like them and I enjoy them.
They're organized like a display. They're not just thrown in a big
No,
pile.
and so it's okay to you don't have to be a minimalist
if it brings
and have
you
nothing
pleasure,
in your house.
and if you're using it, keep it.
These people who are minimalists and have nothing in their house, okay, but who wants to sit in a stark white house? I don't want to sit in a stark white house with nothing on the walls, nothing anywhere, So there's a happy medium there that you need to go for. So sorry, dear, I'm off my soapbox.
Let's see. We had some that I think were a little bit shorter, but I forgot where we were.
Wow, it's already been.
Let's see. Sarah said, "I just made Grandma's peanut brittle. Nom. Turned out good."
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's one of the best peanut brittles ever.
What about a genome?
About a what?
Genome.
A gnome?
A genome.
Yeah, I think that's...
Oh, no. Actually, no. It is gnome. I thought it said genome.
What about a gnome? Yes, they make me happy. Thank you, Diane.
Sylvia says, Jill, I love what you and Tara do, but really wish you and Tara were doing this 35 years ago. So love your wisdom. Tanya says, I suffer from anxiety and getting rid of the clutter makes me feel better. Amen, sister.
Yeah,
a clear room makes me calm. Mm-hmm. Jonathan says, I put hoarders on YouTube and it helps motivate me.
Oh, no kidding.
Talking about a clear room making you calm, I was going to tell a story about Tara. when they moved into their last house in Kansas. Of course, it was moving day. It was a mess, and it was only a couple of days. We'd just gotten boxes everywhere, and their septic tank went out.
Our septic tank. We found out we had no septic tank.
It was just the biggest mess. The house was a mess with all this. They couldn't, run drains or do anything like that. Use the bathroom. It was a mess. And so we were struggling with that for about a week or so. So one day Tara and I said, okay, we're going to try to at least, everybody's nerves were just raw. So
because we had moved into the house, and the second day after we moved in, we found out we had no septic tank.
Yeah, so it was
with
just
6 people.
Yeah, it was just a nightmare. So we spent that afternoon, and we said, no matter what, we're going to get this living room put together. We put the furniture in place, we put knickknacks out, and put pictures on the wall, and we had it spotless clean in just the one room. And the kids came home from school, and they just stopped. Do you remember? They just stopped right there, and their mouths went open. It was just like, and Ellie said, "Oh, Mom, it's so beautiful." I mean, she was just overwhelmed. And if you don't think it makes a difference, getting rid of the clutter does help with the stress. Go ahead, Michael.
Bonnie Boo says grandma should be a teacher like home economics if they still have that.
Yeah. Jacqueline, we're done at the end, okay?
There were a number of people asking about the books and whether we can. Somebody asked if we can get the cleaning books in a hard copy.
No,
And
I'm sorry. All we have left in hard copy is Dining on a Dime, which is going to stay in hard copy, Dig Out of Debt, and Quick and Easy. When those are sold out, they won't be in hard copy anymore. And Penny Pension is ebook now. I'm sorry, but you can print it out for your own use. So.
And I think that the Keeping It Clean, they might have been asking about that. So I'm posting that link in for the Keeping It Clean if you guys want that. Let's see, where was I? Okay, Chrissy, I think, is making a joke. She says, "How often do you clean, or should you clean?" LOL.
That we have in the book. The who is it that says this one, Michael?
And Jeanette.
She says it's like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. We have that saying in the book that you just do it one little bit at a time.
Funny, someone else on YouTube said the same thing. Stephanie said, "Sounds like me. Been sick for 3 weeks. Woke up this morning. I couldn't live with the mess anymore. I had everything cleaned and Christmas items put away before noon.
Yeah.
Still feel terrible, but I don't like chaos. It makes me feel stressed."
Yeah.
And Kathy says, "I agree with parents stressing the kids through those things."
Yeah.
Angie says, "Not only stop buying kids so much stuff, but stop taking them to so many children's events until they're old enough to remember and love them."
Oh my word, these people taking their kids to Disney World when they're 1. We know some people, and hawk up to their eyeballs, they were taking their kids to Disney World when they were 1 for the family memories. I'm sorry, guys. Don't be doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, Sarah says,
How do the kids even remember that?
They don't.
"I've got a good testimony regarding this subject, all the cleaning. I am up to my gills in laundry, dog messes, kid messes, and miscellaneous garbage, and my obsessive tendencies to overorganize get me overwhelmed to the point where I give up." She said, "I had to humble myself and ask help from friends and family because my husband works 7 days a week and I work 5 nights a week." And then she says, "So long story short, my niece, friend, mom, dad, and myself got all my laundry done and put up in my house almost 100% done." She said it's it takes a massive amount of stress off of her.
Yeah, and we'll get into that and some of the other ones, but once you get it all organized, you have to stay on top of it. And I'll talk about how to stay on top of it and keep it that way. And it does much easier if you just continually keep picking up and stuff like that. But we'll get into that too a little bit later.
Jenna said, "I made your pecan pie muffins a couple hours ago and they're almost gone."
Hey.
And Jessica said, "You look just like your mom."
Oh, no.
I do?
You poor thing, huh?
You haven't seen my dad or my aunt, and then you want to say I look like my mom.
You probably see a little of both of them.
It's a little freaky.
Jamie, I'm not sure what she's talking about, but Jamie said, "I just started bullet journaling in the last few months, and it's really helped me stay on track and be more aware of what steps I need to take to get
I think it's where you write down like 5 things every day to do. I think. I don't know.
And Mother of Many Horses says, "Darn, I got here just in time to hear you say I have to keep my husband." And Barbara says, "I'm sure there'd be a line to acquire Mike." and Carol
He is not available in spite of himself.
You legally have to keep them, don't you?
And Palai says, this is a topic designed for me. I need these tips. I'm dyslexic and I have problems with short-term memory, so I forget where I keep things. I need to label and remind myself.
Yeah,
a number
and
of
for,
people were talking about
yeah,
being
and
ADD
for
and
that,
stuff. Too.
what you have to do to conquer that is you have to find a place for something and keep it there. So are we going to talk about the junk drawer?
Yeah.
Okay, so like for me, this is Mike and I are the same way, but this is my junk drawer. And you hear these organizing shows and they say, you shouldn't have a junk drawer. Why not? Where are you supposed to put the extra chapsticks and the eyeglass kit and the okay, everyone has a Victrola crank. A Victrola crank in their junk drawer. So this is
Just
a
in
crank.
case you should randomly come across a Victrola somewhere.
You need to listen to your mother. You haven't been listening to your mother
so
enough.
this is the crank to my Victrola that I do have, but I don't have a place to put this where it won't fall.
Your
I have a
Victrola?
1913 Edison Victrola that actually works, but we never use it. But, stuff like my extra fabric tape measure, because I don't want to have to walk downstairs to get mine out of
Or
my
the
sewing
push
basket.
pins and the
Extra
thumbtacks
keys
and the
dog rabies thing and
What?
razor blades.
Yeah.
And
Now, well, I was going to tell them I never buy containers to get organized with. I get
Not
so
usually,
frustrated. Yeah, usually I don't. They say, oh, buy these bins or buy these clear plastic things or buy this, that, and the other. And I've done many people's homes and they've been shocked because I've organized their whole house without doing any bins or buying anything.
maybe I'll work on organizing this. while
This
we're doing
junk tray, this one junk tray is the only thing I have ever bought to organize my house, and I really love it because you can remove it. It has different size bins, and you can. It works really good because keep all your thumbtacks in one little container, and if you have a junk drawer right now that's just full. What you need to do is if you can get something like that, or you can make your own little containers and bins if you want to. I just find this works best for all these little tiny piddly things. But whichever way you do it, take that junk drawer, dump it on your table, put newspapers down or an old tablecloth and dump the whole drawer on the table and then start sorting them into little piles.
And just so you guys know, I'm going to start doing this after Mom leaves. I'm going through my whole house again because we might be moving or we might not, but I'm going to go through and start decluttering. So I'm going to start showing how, even though I just went through this 6 months ago, I might go through it again. So,
And if you have a container like this, as you're organizing that pile you dumped on the table, you'll know to put all the thumbtacks. And one key thing, when you start organizing, don't buy any bin. I don't recommend buying any bins, but if you do want to buy bins, don't buy the bins until you kind of know what you're going to have, because you may buy this great big bin, but you end up with just a little tiny amount of stuff. So you have to be careful about
and this
getting
is on Amazon. Michael put the link, and this is really nice because you can lift it up
Lift
and
the
everything.
tray up.
But,
Yeah, and it has
Here, Michael
different
put the link.
size.
Guys,
the organizing bin, yeah.
what about the people in the UK who call trash cans bins?
Oh, yeah, that's
Where did the
true.
link
It'll be a
go?
misunderstanding. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, that was
I
an
don't see the
accident,
link
guys.
here.
Oh, okay. We'll just go to Amazon right there.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was trying to. Denise wanted to know if you got her gift.
Thank you, Denise. I said it at the beginning of the show, but you probably weren't here yet. Thank you. This is so cute. I've
So
never seen
perfect
one like
for you.
that. Let's see. Can you go back and forth? Whee!
He's even got grass down in there. Did you see that? There's even grass.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Is there?
There were quite a few.
Okay.
there are lots and lots.
Okay.
Sarah said, "Tell Jill, tell that to my husband. His tools are out of control."
Yeah, yeah. You need to.
Tools
And-
are a big one that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know how much time you spend looking for things when you have too many of them and they're unorganized. You could have, just think what you could do with that time. If you just calculated the time you waste looking for things.
Let's see. Actually, Jennifer said no one else helps. It's annoying doing it all myself.
Well, then in that case, what we do is we tell the teenagers they can't leave until X chores are done or whatever. And the kids and I, most evenings, not all the time, we will have like a 5 or 10 minute pickup, and I'll say, okay, find 10 things that are yours and go put them where they belong. The key word is put them where they belong, not just go put them up. Put
And to
them
have
where
their
they belong.
bedrooms organized so they can
yeah,
put them where they
and
belong.
this is where our house has kind of gotten chaotic recently because we're doing the shows. I haven't been able to keep up on it, and we're getting ready to start again. But like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have chore day. So the kids go through and do their chores. They get all their stuff picked up. Jack is Mr. Creative Construction, drive mom crazy, with all of his stuff everywhere. And so I'll say, Jack, nope, you can't do any computer or whatever until X is picked up or X is picked up. And so that's what you're going to have to do for that. You can't let them do the fun things until
Yeah,
they're
you
done.
know, the whole family has to. It's a family home. It's not just yours,
No,
and you
there's
have
no reason you should be the maid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only you living
And
there.
Chris
Yeah.
Hansen says that's what eBay was created for, and Craigslist.
Yeah.
But don't get yourself. Okay,
Don't get your hopes up.
make sure you actually do it. And if you have this huge pile of stuff that you're not going to get on eBay or Craigslist and you're not getting it on there, it needs to go away.
Yeah.
I don't
And
care
we'll-
if it's the
we'll
thrift
talk-
store, the trash, or whatever.
We'll do
Don't
that,
get
whether it's
into that.
recycling.
Yeah.
I knew a woman that did recycling. She was so into worrying about the environment, recycling. And her kitchen and dining room was piled with empty milk jugs and cans and stuff. So, you know, you got to do it. She didn't put them in the recycling bin.
Sorry, I was responding to somebody else here. Ramona said, when you say storage shed, do you mean a rented one?
Yes. Well, and even
And
an
if you
out
have to-
back, if
Even
you're
if you have to
piled,
buy one, even if you have to buy one to put in your backyard,
if it's things for other than, if it's for anything other than a lawnmower
and your outdoor
garden
stuff.
stuff, yeah, no.
Wow, there's lots and lots of stuff here. Let's see. Pallavi says, I've forgotten things I already have because I can't recall where they are, and I bought more on top of spending more money unnecessarily.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
part of that is put things where they're logical. So don't be going and putting your family pictures in with your plates.
in the cabinets.
Don't be putting
Your computer.
your bills to be paid in with all your stuff piled on your
Well,
kitchen
I've seen in
counter.
where their store their glasses in the cabinet, they put their bills in.
So,
And we'll get into more how you have to put like things
Yeah.
together and, you know, have a place for everything.
Don't put your checks next to your receipts.
yeah.
Southwind Technical Academy says, I have to keep the hubby out of Harbor Freight. It's nearly as bad as me at Hobby Lobby.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
I
yeah,
love
Dolphin
her.
Man. Buy the book. It's cheaper than buying an organizer.
Yeah, Donna says, my junk drawer is way fuller than that. And someone else was saying, only one junk drawer?
Yes.
Well, now, you know what? I was going to say, Tara has her thumbtacks in here, okay? Why I like this tray again is once this is full or has a certain amount, don't save
No.
anymore. You get rid of it. I do that in the shelves in my garage. I have a space where I keep glass jars that I store. Once that little shelf area is full, no more is saved.
Yeah.
So that's helps with designating a place to keep the stuff too.
The Southwind Technical Academy says, yeah, and they just built a Harbor Freight right next door to Hobby Lobby. I'm pretty sure there's a genius somewhere grinning maniacally and rolling in the dough.
Oh, that's good.
That's not good. I went into the Harbor Freight for the first time yesterday,
Oh, you did?
and wow,
I know. I love Harbor Freight.
I
love it.
resisted.
I know. I love it.
And Bandana Grandma said, with 7 children, I need help with laundry. Kids would have chores, including fold 20 items of laundry and put it away. No fun things until chores and homework
Yeah.
are done.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And let's see, there was more. She also said at a different time, I've heard that hoarders are actually perfectionists who
Yep.
can't function once
That's-
things get out of control.
Yes, that's
Because they
what.
have to examine everything minutely before making a
Yes.
move, so they get
That's
stuck.
why they never wash their dishes, because it takes them so long, because they'll take that rag and they'll just polish every little thing, and yeah.
And Sullivan Homesteader said, I think because my husband was poor growing up, he has a lot to do with his hoarding. His mom was the same way. I think he also suffers from OCD.
Yep. And that'll do it. And, you know, in a way, I'm kind of like that because we had so little growing up. There's a part of me that thinks, okay, I need to keep this because what if I don't have the money? But you know what? That's where you have to have faith that God is going to provide for you. And it's reasonable to keep a few things on hand. It's not reasonable to keep 25 pairs of jeans that don't fit because you might need the material one day for something and you're not making quilts or whatever. So, yeah, you can't, that's where you're just going to have faith and get counseling and that kind of thing.
Let's see. Jessica said BJ silently walks in the background, little smiley face.
Yes.
And J. Joe says, if I ever find a better place for an item, it immediately becomes lost until I accidentally come across it later. My head doesn't recognize better places.
Yeah. But the key again there is keep your kitchen things in your kitchen, your office things in your office, and don't let it float in between places.
Yeah.
Keep your tools in the garage.
Let's see. I'm getting to the part where I haven't pasted these comments into a different form yet. April said, oh, so I need the book. I saw an organizational method being peddled and it sounded so appealing until they revealed the several $100 price tag. Yeah, those are usually really high, and that's why ours isn't, thankfully.
No, ours isn't expensive, but... I want to do where if we could Skype readers or viewers and have them show me their cabinet and I'll walk through organizing or Mom walk through organizing that cabinet with them or whatever. Because I think people would be inspired to know it's not as hard as you think.
No, it's
and
not.
It doesn't take as long as you think.
And you know, it's so... we talk about cleaning and organizing, and people say, I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to begin. I don't know what... Jack was about 3 years old. He had this little tiny broom and a little dustpan. He was 3 years old, and he was sweeping the dirt into the dustpan and throwing it in the trash. And he at 3 years old, he knew what to do. You know that pile of dirt shouldn't be there. You know you don't need 45 glasses in your cabinet, you know.
Yep.
Just pick them out and get rid of the...
Well, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, you just kind of only pay attention to the one thing that's right in front of you.
Yeah. Do it one step at a time, just a little bit.
Yeah. And Jeanette says, I love your display. It's special meaning. It has special meaning to you and your family. It's your history.
Yep.
And April says, anyone who has a stark white house obviously doesn't have kiddos.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not the truth.
Let's see. Chrissy said, no joke, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Sometimes I feel like all I do is clean, and then my house is never clean enough.
Well, and that's part of being a stay-at-home mom, especially if you have kids who aren't in school yet. You're just going to be cleaning up toddler messes all the time.
I was going to mention, Kelly said, I mentioned Queen's Ride By.
Oh, yeah. Can you get the link for that? Yeah. So if anybody's having problems getting motivated.
That changed my life. That changed reading. It's a little booklet. It's not very long. It's really
we have it
easy,
free.
interesting.
It's free
read.
on our website.
It's free.
Easy.
And it's
Yeah,
really...
Mike's going to get Queen's Ride By.
Queen's Ride
I need to read again to motivate
By
myself.
will totally change your thoughts on housekeeping and homemaking. And
and
it did for me, even though I love being a homemaker, you know, when I read that, it was just like, wow.
Oops.
It's an older book from, the Depression, I think, or something.
20, I think.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a
Sorry,
live
it's taking me a second to get it. Okay. I'm about to paste it in, everyone.
And most people
Stand
that
by.
read it are really in awe of
Yeah,
it.
read Queen's
It's in
Ride By. Mike
Facebook.
just put the link in.
It's in YouTube.
In the description below.
And I just pasted it in the comments,
Yeah.
too. All right, so let's see. Where were we on comments here?
We need to do a live stream of cleaning up me and Jack's room.
I've cleaned up you guys' room.
Yeah, Julie says reducing the amount of clothes you own reduces stress levels, too. Most people have way too many clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the truth with
Clothes
anything.
is ridiculous.
I read a thing about a missionary. She ended up, she loved her clothes, but she ended up buying 7 outfits. They were the same outfit, all in different colors. But she knew she wore the red one on Monday, the blue one on Tuesday, and she said she could not believe the difference in her life that made. She got up in the morning, just grabbed her red outfit and put it on.
Should I do that, dear? Just
And
get
I
7
thought, you know,
house
I
dresses?
do spend a lot of time picking out my clothes and my stuff. That would really change things.
Jamie says, Mike or Dave, tell my I don't know why she said mine, but until I am volunteering my house for her to come show everyone.
How to do.
I had really thought about filming that because it helps to have someone else saying, okay, that is great grandma's salt shaker. If it means enough to you, you need to find a place to display it or get rid of it.
And
You know?
well, that's one thing. If you can find somebody that's really close to you, a good friend or something like that, family member that's willing to come in and help you talk you through it. Because what I do when I go to somebody's home, I really don't tell them ever to get rid of anything. I just stand there and I hold this up and I say, do you really need it? Do you like it? Do you want it? Or what do you think about it? And they stand there for 2 seconds and think, I really haven't used it. It has no meaning. And they say, toss it. I don't ever tell anybody to toss anything, but they get rid of most of the stuff they have. And so it helps having a second party there to walk you through it, and to do things like to help you see, kind of clear your head, I don't use that or anything.
Do we need to go for Homestead Network, or can we continue to go? We just tell about.
We can continue to
Is it
go because
8:30?
it's Simply Circus isn't on until 9 Eastern.
Okay. I'm looking for more.
But that chicken's smelling pretty good.
Chicken is
That
smelling
does
good.
smell really good.
We're having chicken for supper.
Yeah, Carrie says papers. I've got 2 boxes full of meeting well to go through, but never did. I don't know what's in there anymore.
I'll tell you how to do that. When you're sitting and watching your TV show, get a stack of paper. Each night you're watching your TV show, just do one little stack and shred or toss whatever you need to do, but just do a little stack every time you're watching TV.
Yeah.
Dolphin Man said I saw an older lady throw out money because it was old and dirty. Okay.
Oh my! Now that we're not advocating that.
Well, if I was that paranoid, I think I'd wash it and iron it like Monk does. All right.
So
That's
really-
all I see here. Let me look back on here.
Did
There
you
were a
have
bunch,
something,
but I
Dave?
rapidly got through them.
Did you have something?
No.
So if we missed your question, you might post it again just so we don't lose it completely, because we've seen almost everything, I think.
Most all the questions answered.
Yeah, I'm refreshing on YouTube or on Facebook because we might have missed some.
Well,
there.
one thing, we had everybody say what area they wanted asked for us to talk about to declutter. So we did. Somebody asked about the junk drawer. Somebody also asked what to do with all the warranty books. And Tara and I do it
Oh,
different.
I forgot to go get it.
That's okay. They're both good ideas. She has a notebook with those plastic sleeves. What are
Yeah.
the sleeves?
So those plastic sleeves that are, I don't know, they're 8.5 by 11 plastic sleeves that you can put papers into. But I put several of those in a thick binder, and then I put our warranties in there. Our manuals
The
for
manuals for your appliances
weed eater,
and things like that.
appliances and stuff. And then once a year or so, I go through and I weed out what we've gotten rid of.
If you've gotten rid of those appliances. Now, I have a file cabinet that I keep mine put in just because I didn't have the notebook or the sleeve, so I just put it in a little small, very small, narrow file cabinet. Also, on those, it's sometimes good to staple the receipt
Yep.
that you get with them. Staple it to the manual, and then that way if something happens and it has a warranty and you need to take it in, you've got the receipt for it right there without having to look it up.
And for things like that, if it's a big purchase item, let's say I'm at Walmart and I'm buying, like I bought Mike a foot massager for Christmas, I will pay for it individually.
So
And
you've
it
got
kind
the
of
separate
irritates the people at Walmart, but it makes my life easier so that when I have to send it in, because some of these places ask for the original receipt, well, I've got other stuff on there. I don't want to, I may need the receipt for that. So if it's something big, I will pay for it individually so that I can keep the receipt for the warranty specifically.
So someone asked us about warranty books, so
Yeah.
that's 2 good ways. I've also been to places that was kind of good when I moved into these places and they left the refrigerator or the stove. They had taped the warranty books to the side of the appliance to have it handy.
So Sharon asked, how can I motivate my grown daughter? I've cleaned her house time after time and she lets it go right back. She has 2 children. It's really disheartening for me.
Well,
Well,
then don't help her with it. That's
you
your...
know, she's now grown. You just have to accept it. Tar and I have different ways of cleaning. You have to remember too. I remember when I had little kids and young kids, I didn't keep the house quite like what I do now. And your daughter may be kind of like that, to a certain extent, but it's her home. And if that's
It's
what
not
she
your
feels comfortable
responsibility.
in, you just have to kind of let it go.
I must have missed what you guys were talking about, but Louise said, I think Mike is the maid. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh yeah, you clean everything for the kids.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
I have a lot in the past, but
Not ever. I don't sit here and do nothing.
no, you do a lot.
No, Mom does most of the sitting around.
Oh, whatever.
She
You
does the
guys see
sitting
me
too
after
much.
school. Emily stayed home from school one day and she's like, wow, you really do a lot, don't you? Yeah, this house doesn't clean itself.
Kelly said about buying too much stuff. My trick is to have my daughter go shopping with me. Put that down, Mom. You know you don't need it.
But if you're trying to get out of debt too,
Put an app on your phone that says that and click it every time you go to buy
it
something.
will help you to stay your spending. If you want to get organized, you've got to learn to stay that spending.
Stephanie says donate to churches. I do it a lot to try to go through the entire house twice a year. As long as it's still in great shape, I'll donate it.
And
Yeah.
you need to think about that. There are certain things you buy it, like a salad shredder, and you find you never ever use it, but you spent $25 for it, so it stays in your cabinet for years and years because you spent good money on it. You don't use it, but you hate to get rid of it.
Here's where we sing Let It Go.
Yeah, in my mind,
go.
there might be somebody else who really could use that or need that. I love donating to women's shelters, to all kinds of places, thinking, okay, why am I being selfish and storing this stuff in my cabinets that I'm not going to get any use out of and
Yeah.
let somebody else use it?
Yeah. Karen says I keep stressing to my family need versus want.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
And it's okay to want some things.
Yeah.
That saying also can go too far. But it's okay to want some things, but you can't want everything.
Or buy
And
everything.
just
you can want
because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. A lot of people talking about stuff migrating into other rooms when they're working or doing things like that.
yeah.
That's one thing. Well, I was going to talk about it later on, but if you can get your family trained to do in the room what the room was designated for. For example, the kids shouldn't get their pajamas on in the living room,
Yep.
because then there's the little kids, because there's a mess in the living room with clothes. They need to do it in their bedroom. If you're going to eat, designate the kitchen and maybe the family room, and don't take food in the bed and sit in the bedrooms with glasses and dirty dishes and stuff. Use that room what it was created for,
Yeah. Angie was saying what I was describing sounded like money laundering, washing it and ironing it. Marianne said, I just got a lot of stuff from my mom. She went into a rest home, and the stuff I got really means a lot to me, but I get overwhelmed with stuff, and I feel bad to get rid of stuff from her.
Well, with that stuff, you have to pick out the things you
That
really
mean the
love,
most.
the favorite. You can't.
And then ask
keep
other
it all.
family members maybe if there's somebody else that might want it too, to share it with them.
And did it mean something to Mom?
I know, that's...
If it didn't mean anything to Mom,
My mom says,
don't worry about it.
here, do you want this? I found this, and I said, well, where did it come from? Is it from your anniversary or something? She says, I have no idea who gave this to me or where I got it. I just found it in a box. I'm thinking, I'm not going to keep it.
Yeah, I mean, you need it to take
You
your
need to
mom's
make
stuff for that
sure-
situation.
Yeah.
But go through and only
Make
keep
sure
the most
that it means something.
valuable.
Yeah.
Mother,
Yes.
Jenny wants to know, do you think scanners are worth their price to get all of the receipts and important documents into the computer? How long should you keep stuff like taxes?
Okay, so for taxes, the IRS has numbers, and you probably need to check to make sure that I'm telling you right. But I think they say 5 years for personal and 7 for business. However, every accountant we've ever had has said you should keep your business ones forever because they can go back.
Yeah.
But
I've
was
always
thinking,
heard 7 years for business.
Well,
and-
the truth with us is our business changed what kind of a business it is in 2005. So technically, the old business doesn't exist anymore. So I was thinking, you know what? I'm not going to keep everything from older than that.
and
The problem with scanning that I see and why I haven't scanned yet is because how are you going to find it? I mean, what do you type in? I've never used a scanner, honestly. I keep a folder that says personal receipts. I keep a folder that is business receipts, and I just stick everything in there every year. And they do fade, and I'll write, like, if I have a receipt for a long stuff, but there's one thing on there, let's say I went grocery shopping and I bought a coffee maker or whatever, then I'll write coffee maker on the top. But I mean, if you would use it and you have a way to find the receipts after you scan them, I would say that would be fine. But most things, you don't need the receipt for more than a year.
And if it's not a business expense, most things you're not writing off that much, right?
What I was going to say is a lot of people keep all their receipts and paperwork, like their utility bills, their electric and gas, and you need to call and make sure. You don't need to keep that stuff. You don't even have to keep a lot of the credit card stuff and things like that.
Well, and for utility bills, I've discovered, because we do use a portion of that on our taxes, but I found that I can get online, go to the electric company website, and I can download a PDF file that's just a list of all the things I paid this month or this year.
Yeah,
and it's on one document.
Now you can usually go to the businesses and they can give you a whole list of it. But unless you have your own business, you don't need to keep your gas bill and your water bill and
most of that is
those.
unnecessary.
Yeah, your cable bill. Unless you're using it for a business, there's no reason to keep it for tax purposes.
I used to throw our credit card receipts and things into a box, and at one point I was thinking, what am I doing this for? This isn't a business expense.
No,
Yeah,
you don't have to
and
keep credit card
Another
receipts.
thing, when you go through your wallet of the receipts, get rid of all the gas receipts and the dollar Slurpee receipts, and unless it is something that you actually need a receipt for, boys. Unless it is something that you actually need a receipt for, don't keep it. I don't need to keep my gas receipts. I don't need to keep the Slurpee receipts. I don't need to keep the Walmart groceries that I bought that are personal. I have to keep our business groceries separate, so I keep those. But yeah,
I've got my receipts down to where I've got like 15 years of receipts in just one small file box. That's all I've got. Of course, it's not a business, it's only personal, but I found out you don't need to keep most of what people think you need.
Okay, Jack, come show them real quick. Jack's been dying to show everybody what he made today. Mike's looking at the questions, that's why I'm going to give him just a minute. Okay.
Hi, Farmer Mima.
What did you make?
So on Christmas, I got these little things where you could glue together wood to make things, and I made a helicopter that actually spins the.
You put it all together just by yourself, didn't you?
Very nice.
Yeah. And you painted it.
Yeah, I didn't paint it all yet because I normally do half, then I do the other half so I can hold it.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
good.
a smart way
Very
to do
smart.
it. Very
Let it dry.
smart.
Where did I see that? Oh, David was asking people if they'd rather see us 7 days a week on live or be at our house one day, once a week. And somebody said 7 days a week. Oh, Jessica said 7 days a week live. Farmer Mima says Evernote is a great resource. I think if you need it, it is.
I tried Evernote and I can't get it to work. Maybe I need to have you show me how to work it because I don't know. I can't find this stuff in Evernote. I put it in there and then I can't find it.
The problem I was having is a lot of things I should look at and say, I really don't need this, but since I could save it, I would.
Yeah.
And that I was starting to get confused about that. Mother of Many Horses said my husband saves all bills and their envelopes.
No, you don't need to. If you've paid the water bill, why do you need to save it? Unless you're on, maybe if you're on government assistance, like Medicaid or
But even then, you only need 3 months back. Is all in for something like that.
To.
Angie says, please come visit me. My stuff, my history. And Ramona says her husband has too many coffee cups.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lana wants to know what kind of chicken we're having.
I don't remember.
We put it in just a little bit ago, but you don't remember.
Well, no, I had it frozen because I got 10 pounds from Walmart. They brought it to the wrong house and they don't take it back. So I put it up and I dumped some seasoning on it. I can't remember which seasoning I dumped on it.
Do we need to check it?
Probably in a little bit.
Patricia says, where's the best place to donate items and what can and cannot be donated?
You cannot donate mattresses, TVs, computers, and those are the big electronic
And
things you
make
can't
sure
donate.
they're reasonably decent things. You know,
Don't
don't
donate rip
tore
stuff.
and stained stuff
they have
that you
to throw
can't,
that
or
away.
broken things.
Yeah,
Just
that-
trash those. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a thrift store in Estes Park that was having to pay a huge amount of money to get rid of an old TV.
Because
that
people
someone
just
gave them.
give their trash. Don't give trash. You're responsible for your trash. But we donate to women's crisis shelters. Our children's home here has a thrift store, so we'll donate to them. And then just Goodwill, DAVs, whatever your
Whatever you prefer.
yeah,
what
whatever
you
your
personally,
thrift store
means something
is.
to you. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
April says I download all the manuals on PDF and keep them on my external backup drive because somebody else was saying they use a filing cabinet for manuals.
Oh, that's a good
She
idea.
says all receipts are scanned and kept with the digital manual. The funny thing is, I'll keep scanned receipts for electronics that are under warranty, but I don't usually keep the manuals because you can almost always download them years into the future.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Karen is asking, do you make your own cleaning supplies? That's
Well, that's a whole nother show, but I do make
Yeah.
some and I do buy some. I make an all-purpose cleaner that I use for everything, and I make my own homemade window washer. But yeah, we don't really use a lot
I
of cleaning
don't
supplies.
hardly do
so-
either because I go to recycling center and I get a lot of my cleaning supplies from there.
Stephanie says the church I donate to also has where needy children can come in and pick out Christmas presents for themselves and other family members. I love that. So they feel important and able to get something special for their parents.
Yeah, and you can call about any church and ask, and they can tell you where.
Why
to.
do you have your brother-in-law's baby blanket, Angie? Okay, that's just weird.
Matter of fact, I had. Where was it? Something about
That's
that.
a new one.
Let's see.
Favorite blankies.
Let's see. I was looking to see what else we have that's new. Michelle said, just logged on and I spotted with my little eyes a cute gnome on a swing.
Isn't that cute? Denise got that for me. That was so nice. And Mom got this one for me for Christmas. I love my gnomes.
Lisa says, yeah, I do declutter frequently, donate what I can, and make baby blankets and donate them to the local church.
Yeah.
Lots of people saying Jack's thing is awesome and creative. Laura says, I keep my bills 1 month. If the check clear, I shred it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have to keep track of it, don't.
You don't need it in two spots. She keeps the checks for it, so.
And
Well,
why are you shredding it? I mean, if it's like your water bill, don't shred your water bill.
Yeah, you really wouldn't have to.
Unless there's...
If it's a credit card
Unless
bill, you
there's...
might.
Credit
yeah, but
card.
even credit cards don't put their whole number on there anymore.
Yeah.
Don't they?
So...
Yeah, Jennifer says we have charities that come pick up at our house.
Yeah,
We
do
give
too.
only what we would want, clean and in great shape. Love watching you ladies, so motivating. Cleaning my room right now.
Yay!
Go for it. You want
does
to
anybody
cheer
want to
you
come
on?
over and help us?
Yeah.
Help me?
Jamie and Sue, get over here.
Yeah. We're gonna have a living on a dime clean fest.
There were other people talking about keeping bills just for 1 month too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to really.
Well, it's funny because
I'm hearing crackle.
I finally switched to most of our bills to the online thing, but not where it automatically bills, where it tells me.
Yeah.
And so then at the end of the year, I'll just go
And-
to each place and just download a whole list.
Just so you
For
know on
taxes.
how to deal with bills, to throw them away a month. So let's say this is your file folder. Put all the old bills or all the new bills at the back, and the ones that are at the front, just pull them out and throw them away. Then you always know which ones need to be disposed of because the newest bills are at the back, and you can just pick those up and throw them away. So
Take the front
don't, yeah.
ones out and throw them away.
So you're not having to sort through everything.
Yep. Dolphin Man's asking if we're having an open house. Dave, I don't even. Why is it that you mentioned that? I was curious.
What?
You asked people if they could come here all day one day or see us 7 days a week online. Well, why
Are
did
you talking
ask?
about our conference
that
everybody
was-
was talking about doing?
No, that was just a would you rather question.
Oh.
Like, that would be like the perfect question.
Although we do have Sue coming on Friday. We're so excited.
Yay,
Sue
that'll be
Wilson from
awesome.
England is coming to visit us, but she doesn't want to be on the show. I wish she would. She's
Yeah.
really funny. Her and her husband are so funny.
Interesting. Farmer Meemaw says Goodwill will take raggedy clothes and recycle them into other textiles. I was
Yeah.
unaware of that. So I think that's probably
Everybody?
yeah. There are just a lot of things, but they're mostly the same.
All right, guys. Well, we're with the Homestead Network, thehomesteadnetwork.com today, and Simply Circus is on at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. And Friday, we are back on again, 4:30 Mountain, talking about how to get organized. So we're going to give specific
things.
ideas on how to organize some things. And so we're going to be doing that Friday at 4:30 Mountain. And Mom only has a couple of days left.
Maybe a week.
Maybe a week? Oh, well, maybe more than a couple
If
of
it
days.
snows.
If it snows.
It's gonna
So we've been filming during the day, trying to get some stuff done. This is not a relaxing vacation for Mother or me or Mike. We didn't get a Christmas break, did we?
No, we did on Sunday.
Yeah, we got Christmas Day off. So, all right, please visit us at livingonadime.com. You can get Mom's Penny Pinch Mama 500 Ways I Save $500 a month and our Dining on a Dime cookbook on there.
Stop the presses! Stop
What?
the presses!
Oh,
Carol
wait,
says
Jim-
reading the cookbook, it's super great, loving it.
Oh, she's reading Dining on a Dime.
Jamie
Thank you,
wants
Carol.
to know if we will be on tomorrow on Facebook.
I don't know. Mom
She
has to go
wants
to
us
the
to.
doctor. If we can get on, we will, but I probably not, because we got to get the house cleaned up for Sue.
We gotta
The house
practice
is
what
a
we preach.
disaster.
Practice what we preach.
Christmas is the only word that can explain it.
Yeah,
What are
Christmas.
they gonna think about this?
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Have an awesome night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Happy New
so
Year
much.
almost.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it is. I forgot about that.
You know
Okay.
what? Some of the viewers are going to be going to New Year the day before the rest of us.
Oh, that's
So we'll
right.
have to ask them what it's like in the future.
We'll have to see if Amy T tells us what
What's
2017 is like.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yes. Goodbye.
Oh, wait, and also one more thing before we end. Amy can be like, we can be like, well, see you next year, Amy.
See you next year, Amy.
Okay, bye.
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 Jackie says, I know what my next project is this winter, getting rid of paid bills. Yeah, some stuff like that I realized over time. Why are we saving this stuff? Well, she wasn't saving it. Mostly I was.
Okay, food.
Because I thought for taxes we're throwing all this stuff
I
in
know,
there. And
you
then I
worried
realized,
about